Congratulations! If you are watching this video, it means that you are ready to move on to the final step of our project, showing our name in 3D, not only showing space, but also showing value. Now you can see that I have added the final step to my A, T, and Y. I left the K so that I could show you what to do. You're going to be using colored pencils for this final step, and you are going to be showing blending, value blending, on the sides of the letters that we have to this point not done anything in. You can see that the area that is closest to us, this would be the part that is closest to the front of the letter, is going to have our dark values, and it's going to blend or fade as it goes back into the distance to a lighter value. You get to choose what colors. I highly recommend using colors that you have used on the front of your letters just to make it seem a little bit more harmonious, but technically that color choice is a creative choice for you. So stay tuned and I'll show you what to do. Like I mentioned, everything that we're going to be doing next is going to be with colored pencils. So you will need to grab the basket or baskets that you're going to need. You're probably also going to want to grab a piece of scrap paper so that you can test out these colors to make sure they're going to match what you have on your paper. Also remember that if you have a colored pencil that needs sharpened, you need to see me to do that. I'm happy to sharpen for you. So the very first thing that you're going to do is choose a color that you want to be showing on these back sides of your letters. Like I said, I highly recommend that you choose a color that you have used somewhere on the front of your letter, just so that your design ultimately makes sense. So I have purple, a lot of purple in this K, so I have chosen this purple colored pencil. Now, as I was doing my other letters, I came up with a technique that kind of works well. And here it is. I am going to color this whole section with a very light value. Now, you do, of course, need to color very neat and tidy. It helps to go one direction, at least in the beginning, but I will say that there might be times, like now, when you need to sometimes color another direction. So I'm not going to say that you can never color multiple directions, but I will say that if you do color multiple directions, I don't want to see it, which means that it needs to be blended in so that when we're finished, we just see one nice smooth area. There were a couple of times when I colored different directions in here, but you can't tell it now that I'm done. So back to my technique. I find, even though I know I'm going to be coloring some dark areas, some medium areas, some light areas, to get started, I have found it's helpful to give it one nice, smooth, light layer using light values. It just seems to make everything become smoother in the end. Now, I have that layer finished. I'm going to always put my dark side, my darkest value, on the side that is closest to the front of the letter. So let's take a look. On this side, my darkest area is the side closest to the front of the letter. Darkest right here, closest to the front. Darkest, closest to the front. And you can see it here, and so on. So on the edge closest to the front of the letter is where you will start adding your dark value. Now, I'm going to press hard. You already know this. Press, you're changing the pressure of your hand. And then as you go towards the back or away into space, you're going to lighten up. You want your lightest value to be on the side that is farthest away. Let's check. Lightest side, always on the edge that is in the very back of the letter, farthest away from the viewer. That's you. Now, when you feel like you have reached a point where you are done and everything is smoothly blended from from dark fading to light, then you're ready to move on to another side. All of the sides do not have to be the same color. You can switch, like I did right here on my T. I have a regular blue here and a turquoise color here. Over here on my Y, I have orange on one side, pink on the other side. Again, this is a creative decision that you get to make on your own. I think because I have a little bit of turquoise here, I'm going to switch to turquoise. I'm going to start with my light layer that covers this whole entire shape. You don't want to go too dark. It's always possible to make a color darker. However, if you make it too dark with colored pencil, this does not erase and you can't lighten it up. So once I have my light layer all on there, I come back to where the front of the letter is and I begin making my darkness that's going to blend or fade into the lightness. Again, you can go multiple directions. Sometimes you see me coloring different directions, but I'm always smoothing it in and making it so that those strokes that I make are not visible. And then you'll just continue all the rest of the way around your letter. Do make an effort to stay inside the lines. We will not be cutting these letters out, so anything that goes outside of your marker edge will be visible. That's why it's necessary to sometimes color a different direction, because sometimes that's what's necessary to keep us inside the lines. I think you probably get the point by now. You're going to do that on each and every one of those empty sides, your choice of color, always keeping your darkest values towards the front of the letter, your lightest values blending, and so that you have your lightest values towards the back. Make sure everything is nice and smoothly blended, and do your very best work. If you have any problems along the way, please find me and ask. And here it is, all the way finished. Well, not quite all the way. We have a couple little steps that we need to do to get this ready to hang in the hallway, because right now it's just got a bunch of big empty space at the top. So after this video is over, you will have all of the hard work behind you and all of the in-depth learning right here in your brain. Congratulations. Now get the